Corey Danger.
So I want to kind of go off on a little tangent right now for this video because I'm kind of perturbed a little bit, and it has a lot to do with Ford Motor Company. Okay, I like me some Fords. Okay, Harrison Ford, of course, Star Wars, bang bang, you know, all that stuff like that. Ford Broncos country, let's ride. I don't know. Anyways, the point of this video is that yesterday I went to my local Ford dealership, Ford Lincoln Fairfield. Okay, why did I go there? Okay, a little backstory. Okay, I have a 2015 Ford Fiesta ST. All right, I love the car. Paid off driving it. It's almost 10 years old. It might be 10 years old, and it's still under 70,000 miles driven total. So it's still pretty good, all right, for how long it's been in the atmosphere or whatever, stratosphere, atmosphere, whatever it may be. And they don't make Ford Fiestas anymore, okay, especially Ford Fiesta STs, stick shift and whatever. Okay, so back when I was in San Diego, Ford Fiesta STs, at least my year, had a recall notice on it. And the recall was for the door handles, the latches. Sometimes when you're driving, the door may just swing wide open because the latch, something called a prawl tab or whatever, does not work. And so it's faulty. And so the doors could, like, it's a safety issue, obviously, okay? For about a year, I'd get this notice in the mail. I was like, hey, we have a recall notice. You want to come into your local Ford dealership and we can switch these things out free of charge or whatever, okay? So I was kind of a little hesitant or whatever because my door seemed fine, all right? Nothing's flown open. And any little issue I had with my car, I would fix it myself. I had a broken fog light once, bought it on eBay or Amazon, replaced it, no problem. There is these internal shutters in the air conditioning system that it's made out of plastic, so the gears would wear out and it'll just start making this grinding noise and tuk 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 and whatever. Replaced both sides, passenger and driver, no problem, right? Before I left San Diego, I brought it into my local Ford dealership. Penske, I think it was called Penske Ford or whatever, and I did it, right? It was going to take a while because they didn't have the parts, so they at least loaned me a car to use for the few days that I didn't have my Ford Fiesta ST, which was pretty nice, no charge. All I had to do was pay for gas and make sure it was filled when I returned it. No problem, okay? Everything was all hunky-dory. Flash forward to now. I am in North California, near San Francisco, all right? It's been almost a year since I had that recall thing done. And I don't normally check the doors that are not my driver's side door, okay? So I went to the gym after work, and my gym bag is in the trunk, or the hatch. So I get that out, close the hatch, and I'm like, did I lock the door, right? So I pulled on my passenger side rear door to check if it's locked. So I pull it, the door opens, and all of a sudden my car alarm starts going off. And I'm like, what the hell? So I close it, I press lock on my key fob, I can hear the click of my all the doors, and I try it again, and lo and behold, the door opens. Alarm goes off, so that's ringing some alarm bells in my head. It's like, oh crap. The recall that has been done to my door has failed. So, me being me, the optimist, I'm thinking, okay, all I gotta do is set up an appointment with my local Ford dealership to have the faulty door handle that was replaced because the original one was faulty. I'd probably get that for free, right? No, I was in for a rude awakening, okay? So, I wake up early, right? I don't usually wake up this early, but I woke up around like 9:30 or whatever, because I set up my appointment for 10:30 because I'm thinking, you know, it's not going to take too long, and I don't want to bring it in late because they might have to overnight it because there's like a long line or whatever. So I set up the appointment, drive in, go in, and I talked to this lady who's, I'm here because, under my name or whatever, my Ford Fiesta. I should have known some warning signs when I got there, because the lady asked me no questions, right? She didn't say, "Oh, so what do you think is wrong?" or, "What brings you in today?" or whatever. So all she based it off of is what I typed into the service appointment, because there's a part it's like, "What do you think is wrong?" So I just type in, "Passenger rear door does not lock when I press the lock on the key fob. When I pull the handle, it opens." Okay, obviously it's a pretty self-explanatory explanation, but at least, if I stand up to you and you come up to me, and I'm the service agent, I'd be like, "Oh, so you think that your door handle doesn't work? Oh, that's interesting. Why do you think that?" Or any questions, right? Only thing she asked me for is for my key. That's it. And then she asks if I need a ride anywhere. So I'm like, okay. She only asked me 2 questions. She didn't ask anything specific or whatever. I like, why do you think the problem is? Did I damage it? Did I, what might have caused the door handle to not be working, right? None of these questions. Just, can I get your key? And do you need a ride anywhere? So I'm like, how long do you think this is going to take? And she's like, it might take a while, it might be like 4:30 or something. So I'm like, okay, I'll take the car ride. It's free and whatever, so it's like, might as well. So I go home and I just wait. And then I receive text messages. Oh, it's like 2 o'clock. Oh, still waiting in line. It's not ready yet. Around 3 to 4 rolls around, and she's like, 3 o'clock's like, okay, someone's finally working on it. 4 o'clock rolls around, and I get this text that just like sinks my heart. Text says, "Yeah, it's the door handle. It's faulty. The tech person or the mechanic recommends that you buy a new door handle latch or whatever. It's gonna cost $800. $800. Oh, let's go backtrack a little bit. I had to sign a little paper. One of these things. I had to sign this before I left, and it's an estimate for an inspection. So, you know how much this inspection costs? $265 just to look at my car. Just to look at it. Perform inspection. See, this is what I put. Customer states that the rear passenger door does not stay locked when you lock the vehicle. I put that there. She didn't ask no questions. Just read it and was like, okay, I'm just going to take your word for it, When I saw this paper, I should have just walked away, to be honest. But I read preliminary estimate, right? So I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll just drop the price if it's not that big of a deal, right? No. Still got charged $265 just to look at my freaking door that I told you what the problem was. It's not like you had to like fucking figure it out. I would understand why 265 is, oh, we had to open this, so we had to do this, we had to do that. No, I told you what the problem was. You know where the problem was, and you just checked if it worked or not. No. And to make matters worse, there's nothing like, oh, we tried to fix it or whatever. No, it's just like, oh yeah, did a video inspection, perform video inspection, blah, 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 blah. The labor, that's just all on labor. It's cost you $265. My goodness. $800. So, when I got that text, I started going into panic mode. So I'm like, what why? This was from a recall, Doesn't that count for something? Like, this was your mistake. And you gave me a faulty product to replace a faulty product. And like, oh my God. So the lady, she says, yeah, there's nothing really I can do about it. But if you want, you can call this number, which is the main Ford number on the website or whatever. Just call them and see what they can do. So I call that number. I speak to a nice gentleman. And he's like, let me look it up, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the recall thing, warranty only lasts 1 year. And I'm like, what? But if you'd like, try calling the original Ford dealership that you used to get this recall, and maybe they can like send you the warranty or whatever it may be, and send it to your current dealership. That way, they might be able to take care of it. So I'm like, Okay, fine, whatever. So I call, or I go Google Map, because I didn't remember where I got it at, but I Google mapped the closest Ford dealership that was near my house at the time. Called that number, talked to the lady, and I explained the situation. The lady's like, "That's kind of weird. I mean, you know, that shouldn't be the case. You know, they should take care of it and whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree," but she didn't have the power, so she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna connect you to a manager or something," and then trying to, you know, explain the situation or whatever. Transfer me, rings a little bit. I get a message saying, "Oh, I'm not available right now. Just leave a message," and blah blah blah. You know, so I leave my name and number, and that's it. So in the meantime, I text the lady in my current dealership, like, "Can I just get my car back, and I'll try to figure it out." On the drive there, in the lift, mind you, I'm riding back. I get the call from the guy back in San Diego. It's like, "Hey, what's your situation?" I explain it. Yeah, it's 1 year policy. There's nothing really, or 1 year warranty. There's nothing we can do about it. And the place where you got your recall, Penske Ford, is no longer in business. It's no longer there. And I'm just like, oh my God. Not only is the place where I got it from not there anymore, that means they probably didn't give a crap about the stuff that the recall it gave me. It's like, oh, well, we're out of business. Anyways, I get back to the dealership. I see the lady. She just freaking says, "Oh, follow me to the cashier and we'll pay." I pay for this thing. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't explain anything. Nothing. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't talk about the mechanics inspections or recommendations or anything. She just says, "It'll be $265. I pay, and there's your keys. Your car's right over there." That's it. That's all that happened. No help whatsoever explaining the faulty thing, why it's faulty, because it's from a recall that I had to do because you were sending me messages and saying, "Hey, this could be a security issue or a health issue or whatever, safety issue. You need to get this recall done because these door latches might explode on you or something. And you gotta do it." And I did it, and then lo and behold, the thing that you're supposed to fix because it's faulty happens to be faulty. And on top of that, now I gotta pay for it, which is an $800 part, which probably is gonna do another $200 for the freaking labor, because the 200 something dollars just to look at it labor. So you're gonna tell me that I have to pay $1,000 plus to fix something that was your problem, that was your faultiness, that was your mistake. I gotta do. Why is there a warranty on a part of a recall? Recall shouldn't have a warranty. If it fucking fails, that means you should fix it because that was your problem in the first place. If the original parts fail and you replace it and that part fails, shouldn't you have to replace it? Why do I have to pay for it? It's not my fault that the frickin' thing is faulty. It's your fault that the thing's faulty. As you can see, I was fine, okay? I paid the $200 and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it myself, alright? So I go on Amazon. You know how much these parts are on Amazon? It's like $40 for the part. Now, granted, getting to the door, right, and doing that process is kind of complicated a little bit. I watched a little YouTube videos. There's a lot of little parts that you got to do, you know, like flathead screwdriver, and then you got to do torque screwdriver, and then you got bolts that you got to do and stuff like that. It is a little time consuming, but it is doable, okay? But $40 versus $800 from a recall? My goodness. So I sucked it up and I was like, fine, the 260, whatever, okay? But then I get a text message today, earlier, and it's from that lady. It's like, "Oh, you mind if we send you a little survey that you can fill out? And if it's not 5 stars, can you let me know?" You want me to give you 5 stars? And if it's not 5 stars, let you know first? No. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna leave you 5 stars. $265 is not worth 5 stars. Just to look at it. Look at a problem that I already told you what the problem was. Like I said, if I didn't know what the problem was, I can understand the 265 because you'd have to look through every little system, every little nook and cranny to find out what's wrong with the thing. But I told you specifically on here what the problem was. So you didn't have to go searching. You didn't have to, find context clues, Blue's Clues or whatever to see where the problem is. I told you where the problem was. Why does it cost me $265 for you to tell me what the problem was when I told you what the problem was? Just for you to say, oh yeah, it is the latch. It is faulty. It's going to cost you $800. You want me to show you the text? I will show you that text. The price and everything, and me saying, and her saying, yeah, that's pretty much the problem. He is recommending to replace the part rear door latch. The part is to be ordered and is 2 to 3 days out. The estimate is $870 before tax. And I was like, does it have to do anything with the recall? Oh, there's no evil working tolerance, and the Ford covers repairs for 12 months. I was like, yeah, I had to bring it in to your Ford dealerships because you told me to bring it in. Why does a recall part have a limited warranty? It should be like for the life of the car that you paid for. If it's your mistake, why do I have to pay for your mistake? The part has an internal failure. Yes, it is the replacement door latch that has failed. She literally says right there. Right there. It is the replacement door latch that has failed. I have no way to cover this. Far out after it's replaced, you can contact the Ford customer service and see if they can offer you any assistance. Any assistance. You just have to pay the bill when you pick it up. That's it. And then I get the last text, like, if it's not a 5-star experience, please let us know. And so that's why I made this video. I wasn't going to make this video. I was going to just repair the thing and be done with it. But you're asking me for freaking customer service things, and if it's not 5 stars, please let us know beforehand. I know how these guest surveys work. I work at a restaurant. We need these guest surveys sometimes. Back in Red Robin, before COVID, guest surveys is what determines your schedule. If you got bad surveys, you're not going to be working because my manager didn't want bad surveys, so he give you less shifts to work on. So I get it. I understand that you want to look good, and you want your manager to look good too, and you want your business to have 5-star Yelp reviews, and everyone gonna come in and say, oh my god, yes, it's awesome, this place is great. But like, I even read the reviews of that place. I was looking and saying, oh, it's got pretty good reviews. A lot of people say they're nice, they're helpful, accommodating, whatever. I looked it up before I went there. I guess I can see why. It's because they, if you don't put a good review, just talk to us first and maybe we can fix things or something. It's too late. You already charged me $265. So if I do get that survey, I'm going to pretty much be honest and tell the truth. Like, she didn't really help me. She didn't ask any questions. She didn't seem accommodating, or like all she did was like tell me to go to this guy, see if I can fix it. Like, there's nothing I can do, it's out of my hands, it's out of my control. And it's like, the recall's like, oh, well, we did replace it, it's your problem now. Once we replaced all 4 door latches, if it doesn't work anymore, that's on you. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. Rant over.